on all those stories. Well, let's take you from Cape Town to Alexandra now, where officials are still battling to find the missing parts of a charred body discovered in Alexandra, north of Johannesburg. Yesterday, residents stumbled upon two bodies who were burnt beyond recognition. Police say the deaths may be linked to the ongoing violence in the township. Well, our reporter Linda Mnisi is in Alexandra and joins us live now. A very good morning to you, Linda. I mean, this is a story that, you've been tracking since late yesterday afternoon. Bring us up to speed with what has happened since then.
Well, a very good morning to you, Lindy. What we've seen is the K9 search unit arriving here at the scene this morning. As you can see behind me, still in search for the missing parts of that charred body that was found here yesterday. We understand that the body was missing a head. It was decapitated from the body, and the body was then moved shortly after 8 o'clock yesterday. But what we do know right now is that there are, in fact, sniffer dogs inside there looking for those parts and possibly looking to find more if there's anything else to find, really. But also police looking, or rather keeping a close eye on the situation, as also Alexandra residents watch in horror all these developments. I'm going to ask Luyanda to just pan to this side so that you can see all the EMS officials as well as the SAPS really keeping a close eye of the situation. As you might have known, protests fled up, not even protests rather, but looting fled up here in Alexandra on Tuesday, and therefore today, since from yesterday rather, there's been those discoveries of bodies and people trying to pick up the pieces, as people were even trying to get in and collect what was left of those lootings yesterday. On this side of the scene, what we're seeing also is community members who are watching really in anticipation of what might come out as those sniffer dogs make their way inside the scene. As you can see, community members as well as police on this side really keeping a close eye and really hoping to find something at this particular point, Lindy.
And Linda, have you been able to speak to some of the residents who, have been also just trying to figure out what has taken place there? What are the residents saying?
Well, Lindy, let's get closer to them so as to get a bit of reaction from them as to what is happening, because you get different crowds. People come and they leave as they go about their business. I'm just going to, lift this for Luyanda to make his way through to just get reaction from community members themselves as to what they really think or what they make of this situation. Baba, you're standing on the scene. What are you hoping to see?
Ngibuya kuzobona nami angiyazi nengisi la ngiyadlula nami.
Yini mhlambe oyizwile abangathi mhlambe ungayibona?
Akuna into engayikhuluma ngiyaziyo. Ngifuna ukutshela ma.
All right, Lindy, there you have it. As I mentioned earlier on, that a number of people are making their way past here. So it's really difficult for community members to really, make an opinion or form an opinion about what is happening, as a lot of them are still trying to understand exactly what is happening here at the scene at this particular point.
And understandably so. I mean, it is quite a shocking and gruesome story, that they are witnessing there this morning. And Linda, let's speak about, what took place last night. Has there been more unrest in the township, or have things been much calmer, and have police maintained their presence there in Alexandra?
Well, from this particular side, Lindy, police have maintained their presence, especially in light of this scene and these two bodies that were discovered yesterday. What we saw yesterday was a heavy police presence, particularly in this street that has been ravaged by those lootings that have started in Gauteng since Monday. But what we've seen as well is that the situation has been really, really calm, and community members really going about their business, especially in this part of Alexandra, where it's known to be a hive of activity on a daily basis. Community members really making their way past, and a lot of them really curious as to what could possibly come out of here. Yesterday we spoke to one gentleman who said, it was all good and well that people were looting, but now that, the results are coming out and bodies are being discovered, it's really shocking to them. And they wanted to condemn it, really questioning if this was in fact a right move from the first place.
And I mean, with those bodies that have been discovered, have any of them been identified, and have, the families been notified of the deaths?
Well, at this point, Lindy, it's unclear. We spoke to Captain K. Makubele in the morning, who said that would be a bit of a long process. As you might know, that body was burnt beyond recognition. So it'll be a bit of a process to identify the body. But what we do know at this point is that one of those bodies, or rather the last body that we saw yesterday when we were here, came from that particular shop where the K9 unit is currently at. And as you can see, the sniffer dog there at the entrance of that particular shop. What we do know is that shop used to sell a school uniform, and it's unclear at this point who that person was, and their gender has also not been identified at this particular point.
And I mean, the business owners, the people that own those businesses that have been torched and looted, have they returned to that scene to kind of, check up on exactly the damage done to their business properties?
Well, we haven't spoken to any or seen any of them at this point, Lindy, but what we do know is that a number of those businesses, as you can see, the result there, really terrifying as a result of the business being torched from those lootings that sparked here in Alexandra. None of them have since made their way here, as far as we know, and as far as, the couple of people that we've spoken to here on the ground. We haven't seen or spoken to any of them. As we understand, this still remains a crime scene at this point as police carry out their investigation. But what we heard yesterday from Captain K. Makubele was that the police have opened a case of inquest to really try and find out and investigate the circumstances surrounding the passing of those two people.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that. Our reporter, Linda Mnisi, coming to us live from Alexandra.